Hello guys, hello guys, hello guys. So it finally happened, level 28. It took a while, let's just be honest about it, but it is celebration time, and what I've done is I have been evolving new Pokemon for myself as a celebration for hitting level 28. So Persian here, normal type with Fairy Dog and Rock attack options. Next up we're gonna be looking at the Growlithe, and the Arcanine that it evolves into is one of my favorite Pokemon as an assault Pokemon. It's actually the 7th best Pokemon to attack with, and that includes the legendary Pokemon that you can't really use yet in the game. So that is a pretty amazing Pokemon to use for assault, of course, depending on what your opponent has in terms of defense, because it is a base fire type, meaning that you may not want to be like attacking too many water types with it. Next up here, the Geodude. I'm just gonna be evolving it into a Graveler this time around because I don't really have enough for the Garland, but the next time when I'm gonna be hitting level 29, I am definitely gonna be evolving into a Garland because it's just a rock, and I want to see how that works out in terms of defending gyms. Ponyta, one of my absolute favorite Pokemon, is gonna be turned into a Rapidash, and Rapidash, it's not really that good, but it's one of my favorites. It's super fun to catch because it's really hard to hit. It has a very slim area you need to actually hit on. It's a decent attack type Pokemon, but considering how hard it actually is, at least in my area, to obtain these Pokemon, it's pretty silly trying to get it if you're not hardcore playing. The Rhyhorn, I mean, this is a tank, but once you evolve it into a RHYDON, you feel like you get a really cool upgrade, at least I do, and the reason for this is not the base stats. As you can see, it has a pretty low ranking in both attack and defense, but it's a pretty good anti-card for other Pokemon, meaning that it's really nice to have in your inventory, so that if you assault a gym where you just need a really strong ground rock kind of Pokemon, then the RHYDON is a really amazing one to have. Magikarp's probably my favorite Pokemon. It has a 0 base attack. Turning it into a Gyarados, what's not to like? You have these easy catch things. The Gyarados is the overall number 7 Pokemon, again including the legendaries that we can't play with, meaning that this is one of the best Pokemon that you can have, and you can just obtain it by catching these dead fish. I caught this, a 36 CP Gyarados. How embarrassing is that? It's so bad. They have different options in terms of their abilities, but they're all good if you ask me. Eevee evolves, we all know, into 3 different types. The VAPOREON is probably still my favorite. Overall number 18, but the FLAREON is also one that I really like. I'm not that much into Jolteon, but perhaps as the game moves a bit more into the end game, I will see a need for it. But here, guys, oh yeah, Dragonair, 1172 CP. Dragonite, the overall number 2 Pokemon in the game, including legendaries. Only Mewtwo is ranked higher than this one, meaning that this is your go-to Pokemon for power. Squirtle is like, our area is flooded with Squirtles. I catch them all the time, so of course I need myself a Blastoise. Blastoise is the 2nd highest ranking defense Pokemon. It has a relatively low CP value, but it is supposed to be amazing for defense, and since gyms just get captured all the time, I wanted to try to see if I could somehow build up some defense trying to keep a gym for just a little longer, because yeah, it just feels as if you can't really keep these gyms for longer than a few hours at a time. SLOWBRO, again one of those really high overall kind of things, number 10 on the list, just nice to have. MAGNETON, I really think this blows. I mean, it looks awesome and I want to have it, because I never know when I'm going to be needing it. The same goes for the Dugong here. It has pretty bad stats, but a water ice Pokemon can be really nice anti-assault to have when you're just going for the gyms. The Cloyster, again, it's water ice. It has a different, like the attributes are shifted compared to the Dugong. HYPNO, I don't really know, I just somehow like it. I know it's mostly a defensive Pokemon, but I have like 7 of them. I just stash up on them because I catch so many of these. Goldeen, again, I think I'm closing on having a gazillion of these. I've caught like 13 of them, like in the world. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have too much good to say about it, about the Sea King, and the same goes for the SEADRA. I mean, this is Water Ice Dragon, meaning that you can possibly use it against other dragons because that gives you an increased attack power, but really, it's why are you even in the game? STARMIE, like a baseline decent kind of thing. If you just capture some gym, you want to put in something in there, the STARMIE can go, so can the Kinkler, is how I feel about it. They're pretty bad, but at the same time you get so many of these base Pokemon that you can just evolve them and use them just to put in something so that you can still fight with your high ranking, high value, rare Pokemon instead. That's how I do it anyway. The Electrode, also like, VILEPLUME, I kind of like this one. I mean, you need to be able to deal damage with this grass poison kind of attack because, I mean, don't go up against things that kill plants. That's just, it's just silly. But if you see a gym where you can deal serious damage with grass and poison, then yeah. Nidoqueen is pretty much in the same range as the RHYDON, but I don't have it, so I had to make it, and I do feel that it is better. I don't know exactly how the stats are, and it depends on what kind of like secondary attacks you have, but for me this is just one of the Pokemon I really wanted to have in my inventory to charge with. Sandslash, don't have it, had to make it. Like a mediocre kind of Pokemon that I don't really know what to use for, but yeah, you know what I mean. And the same goes for the ARBOK, really. I mean, it's mediocre / bad, but at the same time, it just looks awesome, and I want to have it, and that is, of course, why I am evolving into it now that I can. So, guys, that was pretty much a summary of my leveling up party here, hitting level 28. Just a bit of my highest ranking Pokemon here, and with that said and done, guys, I'm just going to be saying thank you, as always, very much for watching.